Hey folks, it's us, podcasting wonderkins John Bishop and Lucas Southworth.
Although this is a podcast about cars, it is not age appropriate for the target demographic of these films, as we usually end up talking about the reproductive organs of Lightning McQueen.
Alright, now let's take a look under the hood. Hello, I'm Lucas Southworth.
And I'm John Bishop.
And welcome to the Chat. Guys, it's the only podcast brave enough to ask the question.
Hey, what's up with cars?
Pretend we did that with a Christmas theme, or a holiday theme.
I was, the one that I was planning was just, getting a friend to do some, work with the song, and then was just gonna, sing a song, and it was gonna be I was gonna replace the word Christmas with, Carsmas or something like that. Yep.
Sure.
It was Merry Little Christmas.
Okay, I was about to say, you just said the song. Nobody knows what song you're talking about, but sounds like it would have been fun and cool, but we didn't do that. It is our holiday special, everyone.
Merry Cars!
This guy gets it. Folks, Toyotathon is on.
Happy Honda Days, everybody.
And it is, of course, the Hyundai holidays, so that's all of the special, holiday promotions from car companies that I know of. So we've got those out of the way. We may have titled the episode after one of them, but we're still pretty shaky on the legality of that.
Yeah, I feel like it's probably okay, just because, is Honda gonna notice us? Is Toyota gonna notice us? The answer is yes. They of course will, but they won't mind.
Okay. See, I was going to go with, no, of course not. That's not... But we should not do it anyway. Anyway, we said our names. We are going to talk about the holidays in cars, and I don't know, maybe just the holidays. Probably about cars. It is what the podcast is about. We're doing a good job so far. Do you think so?
We are. We're doing so good right now. Merry Honda.
I was thinking about Mater Christmas for a while. We Wish You a Mater Christmas flows a little bit better.
I also think that was
contextualizes it.
Some of my thought for the song is We Wish You a Mater Christmas would have been great. Again, so many missed opportunities, but we're doing so good.
Yes. If I don't do it, we're never going to talk about cars. So, it's time for the number one fan. Faith didn't send in a submission, so I can say what I want for the wiki quote of the day. We're just gonna jump right into it.
Just jump right into it. Give me that. Faith did not succeed in giving us a name this week. Not even include
what
Wikipedia.
A sucker. Yeah, that's the quote. You messed up, Faith. You didn't. Obviously, please continue listening to us. This time we are going over to worldofcarsdriven.fandom.com/wiki/Santa_car. So, this one is in fact about Santa Car, which is their name for Santa Claus in the Cars universe, which, before I even read anything, y'all just did one pass at that name, huh?
Yep. It's it's so clever. You see, because it's Santa Claus, but it's a car. It's
yeah,
so good.
They sort of just went with their first draft there, it seems like. Santa Car is, of course, a character in the children's book Mater Saves Christmas.
It's not even Santa Cars.
No, it is in fact just Santa Car.
It's just worse.
Oh, it's pretty bad, Johnny. So, anyway, Santa Car is a red car. He's Santa. His front wheels are like a sleigh, it looks like.
Which brings us to a fun
Uh,
fact of the day. That's right, a segment within a segment. Did you know that there are motorized sleighs? And like, not only are there motorized sleighs, but there's an American motor sleigh from 1905.
okay. I didn't know that. It doesn't surprise me much. Those sound like they would just be kind of snowmobiles.
It's just like a Model T, but instead of wheels, it's got skis on it.
Huh. Oop, and I will say it looks like his back wheels of Santa Car. We're back in the wiki quote of the day for a second. His back wheels are like tank treads, but like snow outfitted ones. So he's prepared. Santa Car is.
So I looked up Santa Car, and instead of finding the Cars universe Santa, I found Santa in a motorized sleigh. Nice.
Well, there you go. Tied all together.
Boy, howdy. I'm looking at him right now. He's got that big ol' hat. It covers the entire top of
Oh,
his. Yep. It's so good.
yeah, just sort of his canopy is in fact his Santa hat. I would recommend looking at a picture of him just because I don't know. Whatever you think Santa Claus looks like in the Carsverse, you're probably incorrect. But anyway, the we're going down, of course, to the trivia section, my favorite section on all the wikis. For this actual wiki quote of the day, since I haven't actually read the quote yet, and it's a real short one. It's just he is based on the real Santa Claus.
Wait, really? Is he?
It,
There's like
I mean,
what? Huh? You know? You think you know a guy. You think you know a guy, and then turns out he's just a car version of Santa.
yeah, and not to get too much, it does say he's based on the real Santa Claus, which like
Oh.
there are some reasons that's far be it from me to say Santa Claus isn't real. But there are those people in this world who don't believe in Santa Claus, so this could be a bit of a controversial statement. You remember like 10 episodes ago, maybe more, when we were talking about, I don't know, something, and for a while I was like, I don't want to talk about Cars. I want to talk about High School Musical, the series. And we just
Yes.
didn't talk about Cars for a while.
Yes.
I have. It's not about High School Musical, the series, which has come out yet, and I haven't watched any of it because it makes me too mad. But on the subject of Santa, people not believing in Santa Claus, you know how in Christmas movies there's like, oh, we'll use Elf for example. You know how people don't believe in Santa Claus in the movie Elf with Will Ferrell, but Santa Claus is factually real,
Yes.
but and delivers presents to children,
Uh huh.
and the parents see presents that aren't from them and aren't like, huh, wonder how those got there, or I guess Santa Claus did this. They're like, no, these are just mystery presents. They happen every year, but it wasn't Santa. I can tell you that much. It makes me very angry in every movie in which the adults don't believe in Santa Claus, but Santa Claus has like empirical evidence in that he gives them presents. You don't know where these presents came from. So, like, what's up?
Yeah. Yeah. You see, that actually like there's a character in a book that I've read, well, a book series that I've read, where there are these beings that are all fragments of like a divine being, and essentially they're all
Okay,
gods. And there is
sure.
there is one person who is like famously the most intelligent person like in the entire universe, and she is the one person who is like proudly professed to be an atheist, even though this is a universe in which there's factual evidence of gods,
Huh,
and it's
yeah?
kind of like that.
It kind of is, huh?
What I'm saying
But,
is
like,
Santa exists within the Cosmere and is a fraction of, he is a shard of infinity.
sure.
Yep.
I don't know what we're talking about. What are you referencing?
Brandon Sanderson books.
Sure, that's a checks out, actually. But yeah, I don't want to spend a ton of time on this, except to postulate that there is like an like explored bit in movies like Elf and other movies in which Santa Claus exists, but the parents don't believe in him.
It's just Christmas magic.
Yeah, Santa has some sort of magic which makes the parents think they got the children the present, which is like a weird thing. That's it. I just wanted to mention that.
It's like how
Again, it doesn't have much to do with cars.
you can't hear the sleigh bells in the Polar Express unless you believe.
Mm,
They just don't
you're
believe that the
absolutely
presents
right
are
about
from
that.
Santa, so they can't understand that they're from Santa.
John. It's if you just believe, I think is what you were trying to do. You sort of like rushed past that, but I think that's how they like stated in the movie.
You know what? You're right. That is exactly what I meant. Exactly.
Okay, good.
100%.
Good to know. Okay, that's all I wanted to do. We can talk about Santa Claus in the Cars universe now. He does exist, and he is a weird car that's half sled. I have looked up more pictures of him in the book. I couldn't find the entire book, and let me tell you, I spent like a while on Google trying to find just I don't know, I guess a ripped PDF of this children's Christmas Cars book,
Mm-hmm.
and I failed.
Oh.
I found like a couple of YouTube videos with like comically blurry pictures of the pages and not even all of them. So I sort of pieced together the story, but it's dumb. Chick Hicks like steals some fuel or something, and they go to the North Pole to hand deliver the letters to Santa. I think Lightning doesn't believe in Santa, so this is yet another. I could have just made this about cars the whole time, but we're past that point. What I'm trying to get to is that Santa's reindeer are in fact snowmobile, which I think we've mentioned
Yes.
and we know from this book. But I think it's important to state it again that Santa's reindeer in the Carsverse are in fact snowmobiles. They're brown, like reindeer.
Is the book that you were referring to Mater Saves Christmas?
Yes, it is in fact.
I can preview 6 pages of it.
No, I did the Google Books and Amazon thing in which I read the first few pages of the book.
Oh boy.
Again, from it was the YouTube video I found of this book. I can't stress enough was like the pictures you see of Bigfoot. It was like someone took them in such a rush, as if not to be caught. They took them, and then 2 seconds later uploaded the footage to YouTube.
Yeah.
But it does seem like later in the movie, Mater gets like reindeer antlers, and this makes him able to fly. So this is 3 different times now Mater can fly. So that's pretty cool.
Let me pose that the antlers didn't make him fly. It was
Yeah.
because I can't do it, Lucas. I can't do it.
The aliens' secret stuff.
It's because he just believed.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. I think Lightning gets them as well, and they both like fly. If I remember right, Mater like leads the sleigh at the end. Y'all don't care. Uh, but Mater is. I just wanted to tie it into Mater's tall tales. Mater again does fly, maybe with his alien powers, maybe because of a magic reindeer antler hat that Santa gave him. Maybe, as John said, just because he believed. So I don't know. Pick your poison. Mater can fly from a number of different sources. Mater can definitely fly in the Carsverse. That's a fact. No, there we have too many sources to dispute it any longer.
Mater can fly 100% in multiple ways.
Yeah, does he fly away at the end of Cars 2, or does he get picked up by a
I
plane?
think he gets picked up by a plane.
Okay, yeah. Either way, whatever. Mater makes me so stressed and mad now. I don't know.
All right. So now's as good as
Yeah,
time
man.
as any for a question from Liz.
Yeah, both of our significant others are named Elizabeth. They ask us questions, but we call them both Liz, so you don't know who they are for no. It doesn't really enhance the bit that you don't know which one is which, but that's the joke. Go for it, John.
What kind of holidays do they celebrate? Like do they celebrate like car holidays? Like do they celebrate like the Model T being made? Like the first Model T? Is that like everybody's birthday?
Huh. Okay. Now that's kind of an interesting. Well, we know factually that they celebrate Christmas. There are lots of Christian cars in this universe.
There are also like for sure Shoot, no, I'm gonna make this claim again, and then I'm gonna be crazy because I don't know why I distinctly remember this, but I distinctly remember it. I'm gonna check on it before I make that statement again.
I know what John is referring to. If you don't remember, at one point John was certain he knew an image of Mater dressed like a rabbi. Uh, and then I said, I'm almost certain that doesn't exist, and he couldn't find it. But I think there's enough evidence of. I mean, if Christianity exists, Judaism exists, and there are other world religions that we like factually see evidence of. So I'm going to say Judaism exists. We don't need Rabbi Mater to prove that. You can certainly search for Rabbi Mater all you want. I just don't think you're going to find it, bud.
All right, I will say in my search, one of the first things I saw was just the question posed by the internet to me: what kind of car should a rabbi drive?
I I guess whichever one he wants. I don't I have a very limited knowledge of Judaism, but I don't believe they restrict your vehicle choices.
Okay, that's good enough for me. You know as much as I do, possibly more.
But as for other holidays, huh? So I think we can, like I was saying, we can assume we know Christmas exists. I'm almost certain there's probably some evidence of Hanukkah, and even if there isn't, they celebrate Hanukkah and Kwanzaa. But are there other car specific holidays?
I would like to think,
Just in the holiday season or in general?
in general, but also probably specific
Okay.
to the winter solstice.
Now, maybe the cars do. Maybe the solstice is a bigger deal to them. I don't know why it would be, but I don't know. I was very enamored with that idea.
One thing I want to talk about this episode is we we in our world, in our human world, we tend to really like Christmas time, all the holidays around the winter solstice and all that jazz, candle nights, if you will.
There you go.
But I imagine that for cars, it's gotta be a lot worse, right? Like you have to imagine that like the small amount of fear we feel around the holidays where it's like, "Oh, better stay safe out there. It's super cold and dangerous weather. You're going to have ice on the road. You could slide and get hurt." But like their whole thing is driving. You think that like Christmas is a time mostly for mourning because like tons of people die in car accidents in this world cuz they're cars?
Huh.
Cuz I imagine that that would be
Man.
like a much more devastating and like much higher just mortality spike right there.
Okay.
And it's just
Yeah, that's
all of the winter.
yeah, I that is an incredibly interesting question you posed, Johnny. Uh if I'd have to guess, yeah, even if it's not like official, which I'm not ruling out that it's quite possibly like there's some recognized like period, if not like day or like the whole season is recognized as like a time of mourning. Like it's at the very least a very sad time for a lot of people, just because yeah,
Cause
winter car accidents would be that's just people.
cause here's the thing. They drive to do anything.
Yeah, what you gotta remember about cars is that the cars are in fact people, huh? The people are
Their
cars.
whole thing is that instead of like walking, they have to drive everywhere.
Yeah, this one's stressing me out, but yeah.
Which brings me to another
I
question I have of just like,
question from John.
yeah, this is a question from John. Do cars like have to worry about getting drunk?
Now we have talked about drunk driving before, and I think we decided that like, yeah, that's pretty it'd be pretty messed up. You, and I think what we settled on is that they can sort of walk without driving,
Mm-hmm.
and there are also systems like trains exist in this universe, so like there is at least some semblance of public transit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they would have to do their weird little waddle or they would be drunk driving. Yeah, is what I think we settled on.
They'd be drunk driving in icy, hazardous conditions.
Oof.
Eggnog is just like it's for the most bold of people. It's a drink
Yeah,
specifically, essentially designed to make it hard not to die in this universe. Like the story of the grandmother who gets run over by a reindeer. Like,
sure.
if it's true that in fact she was drinking too much eggnog, she was like seriously just being irresponsible because she's a car and she was drunk driving in hazardous conditions when that's like the whole thing in the middle of the death season.
Yeah, and she got hit by some snowmobiles, huh?
She's lucky that it was just snowmobiles because
Flying snowmobiles. So she got hit from above, presumably, which could do a bit more damage.
true, but as long as she was run over by reindeer, which are snowmobiles, that's better than, like, I don't know, careening off the road in general or getting hit by Mac, a semi truck who has to share the
No,
road
yeah.
with you, you insensitive, terrible grandmother.
Yeah. I'm
How
glad someone's finally taken a stand against the grandmother from Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer. She's had it too good for too long.
only the one in the Cars universe. In our
Yes, of
universe, I'm
course.
just upset with her for suing Santa Claus.
Yeah, that's pretty messed up. Well, I don't know.
It wasn't her idea, but
Lawsuits have a bad reputation in America because corporations don't want you to feel comfortable suing them. But that's neither here nor there. Uh,
you know what is
uh
here or there?
no.
Santa Claus,
Yeah,
because you can teleport and or time travel.
just because the classic, how does he make it to all the houses?
Yep, yep, yep.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty comfortable saying that any of the various explanations from the various Santa movies of like, how does he do it? Sure, one of those
Mm-hmm.
is apply it. You just pick your favorite explanation for why Santa makes sense and just apply it to this.
Very much so. Except
But he's a cart.
is a car, so if he's coming down your chimney, that's even more rough. It's like a regular dude who's kind of chubby trying to fit down a regular chimney versus a car just
Well,
plowing
there.
through your home like the Kool-Aid man.
Well, that was it. Was the question from my question from Liz is how does it work with chimneys and whatnot because cars. But then I think she changed it. But we'll get into that a little later. But again, if we're going Christmas magic, we could look at either the Santa Claus or that one Christmas movie in which Kurt Russell is weirdly attractive Santa Claus. I watched it literally yesterday.
I have
It's a Netflix
I
one.
have wondered about that movie for a year now, and that's just
It
it looks so weird.
honestly a lot better than I thought it would be.
I mean, it's got Kurt
But
Russell in it, so
yeah, but in I can't remember exactly how they explain it in the Santa Claus, but in again, Kurt Russell is hot Santa Claus on Netflix. I think that's the title.
mhm.
Uh, he just sort of like turns into coal dust. I think is how they explain it, and like
What?
flies into the chim. But like magic,
Not
he
like
sort of just
snow?
like no, he does turn into coal dust, and like sort of teleports through the chimney, so he's not like in his corporeal form.
So
And I think in the Santa Claus with Tim Allen, the chimney like conforms around him.
it's like a bit of both.
Yes.
The chimney gets wider and swallows him while he gets thinner. It's real weird.
Yeah.
But so every time sexy Kurt Russell Santa wants to get in someone's house, he just pulls like a an Avengers snap on himself.
Kind of.
He dusts
Yeah, it
himself and then enters your home.
what it reminds me of is like when like elongated man or plastic man like sort of stretches to go into something in that like he keeps he all it all stays together and it just sort of snakes in there and he
Hmm.
reforms.
That
That part
somehow
isn't like elongated man,
that
but
somehow is worse. Because like
yeah,
turning into weird dust
doing a
and that
bad job.
dust like flowing into a house isn't as bad as turning into like a black coal serpent that slithers into your home.
Yeah, It doesn't look like that. I'm doing a very bad job explaining this. Go watch Sexy Santa Claus with Curdy Russ if you want more. But uh, again, my review is better than I thought it would be. Heartwarming moments, and the elves are very cute. But
All right, so you've just mentioned sexy Kurt does the Santa Man. So I think it's a
yeah,
good time to work our way into just in general Christmas movies and how, this podcast is about Cars, which is a movie, and also might be
yes,
a Christmas movie.
yes, John, you've teed me up perfectly. It was subtle, and nobody knew it was happening. Uh, we're gonna go on to the old mailbag. You all know how we go to our email sometimes. We have gotten emails before, but they're mostly from Faith. I'll read one in its entirety. It's Doc supports the death penalty, but only if it's funny. So that's why we haven't talked about those before. Because I don't know.
Lucas, you've
Thank
just
you for emailing us, number one fan Faith. I please keep doing it. It makes my day each time. But it's
Lucas, that's the opposite of a reason. That's that's just a wonderful thing we should have included in every episode. Is just the strange thing that Faith has gifted us with every week.
that's fair enough. That is, if in fact, an email number one fan. Faith sent us, again, it was Doc supports the death penalty, but only if it's funny, probably after our Law and Order episode. But this is from a different person who listens to us, which is honestly a shock. But this one is from Christina. Thank you, Christina, for sending us a thing.
It did make at least my whole week.
No, yeah, like seriously, if please send us things. We will talk about them on the podcast and to say your name. Christina probably feels like, I don't know, kind of cool hearing her name said by a podcast she listens to. And number one fan Faith has like is like becoming more and more power crazy every time we mention her. So I don't know, if you want us to say your name on a podcast, send us stuff. But Christina's friend, who she has omitted the name of, so also credit to Christina's friend who posted this Facebook status she sent us. But Christina's friend had a Facebook status that reads in its entirety: rich and powerful single person that is working too hard gets sent to a small town against their will to find out what's important in life and find the love of their life. Cars is a Hallmark movie.
Beautiful.
Again, thank you, Christina's friend. It's a pretty good point you've made. We didn't make that point. I didn't draw that connection. So good on you. We're the experts, but you are also apparently an expert. I'm sort of rambling. Thank you, Christina, for sending us that. We're going to talk about it now.
All right, I'm trying to find the number and I can't find it quickly enough. Do you happen to know how many Hallmark Christmas movies were made this year?
In what universe do you think I know that off the top of my head?
It was a news story because it was a
Okay,
ludicrously
that's
high
fair.
number. I want to say it was like 50. Like 50
That's
released
too many.
this year or made this year. Uh oh man, I'm looking at one right now. It's The Nine Lives of Christmas and it was from 2014, but it really freaked me out because Lucas, I want you to look this up. And that actress that co-stars in it with Brandon Routh. If you look for the right picture of her, it's just dead on Faith.
Okay, number one fan Faith was in a movie. Tell me the name of it one more time.
Nine Lives of Christmas. It's about a
Does it
handsome
involve
firefighter
cats?
who loves cats.
Oh, that sounds pretty bad. That does kind of look like number one fan Faith. Okay. Not in every shot, but I see what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I want to say real quick, Hallmark Channel just like did a very bad job in that they had an LGBTQ inclusive commercial, and then some dumb people got mad about it and signed a petition, and they caved and took it off, and they've put it back now. But they did a pretty bad job on that, so I'm gonna be pretty harsh on the Hallmark Channel and their movies because I don't know,
Oh,
be better.
yeah.
Uh, I just
I'm
wanted to
I'm
address
glad
that.
they put
So
it back, but that's sad.
yeah, they came to the right thing, but like it wasn't for the right reasons. Pretty obviously, I don't want to get into it. They make bad movies. Uh,
I
anyway,
would I
it
would still love to be in just any generic holiday film. It'd be so good.
no, yeah, it seems pretty fun to be in these bad Christmas movies they make. But let's see, what was I gonna even say?
We were talking
Uh,
about how this is a Hallmark movie.
yes, we were, and I sort of laid out in our reply to our to our new friend of the show, Christina's email. But it's not even. It doesn't even end with like the person goes to small town, gets humbled. There's like a quirky cast of like small townsfolk. There's a grumpy elder who warms up to him over the course of the movie. An over the top sidekick. He takes what he learns from the small town back to the big city and his fast paced life. He makes a big show of it in front of everyone, being when he pushes the king over the finish line, is what
Mm-hmm.
I'm referring to. And then he's rewarded by the people who employ him, in that Dynaco offers him a sponsorship because of it. They're like, your small town sensibilities have won us over.
Yep.
uh, in that, like, in these movies, there's usually like their direct supervisor is like, no, your small town sensibilities are wrong, and then they are like, no, they're right, and then like the owner of the company or whatever is like, I was from a small town once, and I believe in your sensibilities you've learned over the course of the past 3 days. So you get all the promotions. You all have seen Hallmark movies. That's how all of them go.
Yep, exactly like that. And just one thing that frustrates me about these movies is what happens is a rich and powerful single person that is working too hard gets sent to a small town. Yeah, there's that. And then they find out what's most important in life, and they find the love of their life. And then, like half the time, maybe in that specific situation, what happens is they learn from this town what is the most important, and then they take that back, and somehow they pull back from work and are also more successful at work while also being
Yeah,
happier, and everything works out in a way that like doesn't make any sense because they were stressed because work is hard and they wanted to work hard, and then they get rewarded for working less hard and less. But like the whole point is that it's not about like all this power and success and riches. It's about the small thing. So why would you like undercut yourself by saying, "Oh, but also rich and powerful"?
yeah, and let me tell you, that should be how it works. I think it would be great, and it should be that higher ups reward people with a healthy work life balance. But that is not how the world works usually, sadly enough. So,
I mean, there's the Japanese style.
oh, in the Japanese style, of course.
See, in Japan, there's like a 20-minute break in the middle of the day where you could like nap or do yoga. I think it's usually yoga, but it's all about encouraging a healthy mind and a healthy body.
No, yeah. I don't necessarily think Japan should be held as like a standard of healthy work life balance, not to
Oh
generalize.
no, they're
But
famously they have okay, so like their birth rates have just gone right in the pooper because like everyone's
yeah,
focusing on their careers, and it's unfortunate.
it is. But yeah, you're right that these are a bit paradoxical in that they are like, I'm going to work less, and then their job is like, good job, you get a higher paying, better position.
Good job. You are now better at your job.
Again, I do genuinely believe that setting a healthy work life balance makes you better at your job, but usually the brass doesn't believe that.
Yeah. And a healthy work life balance definitely is going to make you far more capable. But there's this unhealthy thing where, in some cultures, I believe this is also unfortunately true in Japan, uh, if they find you napping at your desk, they think of it as a good thing. And do you want to know why?
Because you're working so hard that you're physically exhausted.
Yes. You are so
Uh,
dedicated that you don't even go home to sleep, and you exhaust yourself so entirely that you just pass out right there. Now that is dedication and good hard work.
Yeah.
Which I figure less true for an athlete, probably.
Yeah, that's probably true. Uh, but I think Christina's friend, and by extension, I'm not. I'm going to say Christina because I'm tired of referring to this person who I don't know.
Let's do the Mabimbam thing and give them a name.
Fitzpatrick.
All right, so Fitzpatrick, what you have
Yes,
decided.
yes. Fitzpatrick. What Fitzpatrick says, I believe, is entirely true. I think if you just literally put some Christmas trees around Radiator Springs and like changed a few words to make it more, just like a tiny bit more Christmassy, like this is two steps away from being a Hallmark Christmas movie.
I don't even think it's two. I think it's just you change the setting and you're there.
Oh, get it snowy instead of the desert.
Yep. If it's just somehow wintry, bam, it's a Christmas
Yeah.
movie. Boy howdy.
Well, there is one of my least favorite tropes in the Hallmark, and let's be honest, now Netflix Christmas movies, is if they have any sort of romantic subplot, A, their relationship lasts like a week, and B, at the end of that week, the man always proposes after every time it's been like a week. And they subvert that in this one, at least, in Cars.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. It says, and find the love of their life. And Lucas, I feel like you're gonna guess what I'm gonna say before I'm completely done saying it, but Lightning finds the love of his life.
Yeah.
And it's not Sally.
Okay. My two guesses are Mater or Radiator Springs itself.
Dang, I wish I had gone with Radiator Springs. Yeah, it's Mater. It's for sure Mater.
Okay. would have been kind of nice if it had been Radiator Springs itself.
Nah, he likes the people there, but he loves one person there. The love of his life is Mater. Through thick and thin. How else do you explain making him, like, as key and important to every other race he's ever been in for some reason?
Yeah, they sort of like Sally is in 2 and 3, but not like Mater is. That's for sure.
Mater is a much bigger feature in 3, and all of Cars 2 is about Mater, so...
Yeah, Mater is the protagonist of Cars too. So there's that.
Oh, boy.
John, I have something. It's not really a question from Liz, so I'm not going to say it's time for questions from Liz. That's how you always say questions from Liz, if you were ever wondering. But Liz sent me a link to something. It's the Disney parks. I don't know. I guess I'll I'll read it as if it's like the wiki quote of the day because I don't know. I guess we think it's funny to read URLs in their entirety. But we are at disneyparks.disney.go.com/blog/the-christmas-trees-cars-land-adventure-park. If you couldn't focus while I said that, the title of the article is "The Christmas Trees of Cars Land at Disney California Adventure Park."
Nice.
Which I will send you the link right quick over our little chat functionality that we never use. But
Oh, you forgot that last slash, I think.
oh, I did. You're absolutely right. I guess I have to read the whole thing again. I'm not going to do that. It's not funny when we do that. It's only funny to us. So I'm not going to make you all listen to me read a URL again. But basically what it is just the different Christmas trees that they have put up, or maybe, yeah, this is an article from 2013, so that they put up in 2013 at Cars Land in California Adventure at Disneyland, which, if you didn't know, whenever we say things like and I do a honk, we put money in the honk jar to go on a trip to Cars Land because, I don't know, man. I don't know what we do past that. I don't know
I
how we
mean,
can top that.
when we meet them, ourselves. That's got to be it, right?
Yeah, I mean that's it. Most of the trees are pretty tame in that, like, I don't know, Fillmore is like hippy dippy and like some like sculpture. There's one made out of tires. There's one made out of cones.
There's one that's the Devil's Tree.
I don't know what that's. Oh, Route 66
It's
sign.
just a bunch of the Devil's number is what it is.
Good joke, John. The main one I want to talk about is Sarge's tree here, because
Okay.
what Sarge has done is it's a normal Christmas tree.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just read the caption under it. Not to be outdone, Sarge has built a patriotic holiday spectacular. No need to create your own star when there's one right under your nose, or in Sarge's case, on your hood. So, what Sarge has done for his Christmas tree is it's a normal Christmas tree, but he's removed his hood and put it on top of the tree because, as a military vehicle, there is a star on his hood.
So for our dear listeners, what I want you to think of just a very normal Christmas tree, and and then imagine that instead of putting like a star on top or an angel, you rip off your face and just place it for everyone that you know to see. You just place it right on top. You rip your face off and you put it right there.
Yeah, and like, it's not like the tree is appropriately sized to have an entire car hood on top of it. It looks really weird. It's a normal sized Christmas tree with a whole car hood on top of it that looks very inappropriately sized.
I
It's
think
much larger than the rest of the tree.
I think one of these trees is smaller than that tree, and it's the Route 66 one.
Yeah, I think you're right in that it's the second smallest tree, but probably including the hood, one of the tallest trees.
Yep, yep. And again, it's just his face has been ripped off and placed right there. I guess maybe just his nose.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is maybe imagine you have a birthmark, right, or a tattoo even, because I guess this is a paint job.
On your
You have
face.
a tattoo of a star on your nose, and someone is like, "Oh, we don't have a star for the Christmas tree." So you're like, "Guys, don't even like worry about it." And you rip off your nose and put it on top. But the thing is, this Christmas tree is about the size of, like, I don't know, a cell phone. So it looks very, again, it looks very disproportionate and wrong. It's not even like, wow, what a good and selfless thing you've done to make our Christmas tree look perfect. It looks really dumb, Sarge. You didn't accomplish your goal of making a good Christmas tree in that the top half of it is a car hood. That's
a,
not how you decorate a Christmas tree to look good, Sarge. It's a car hood.
a giant slab of metal that is much wider than the tree itself, just on top. That's what this is.
Yeah, normal Christmas tree, car hood at the top.
But again, that's one that bothers you. That's one person's nose has been torn off
Yeah.
and made into an ornament for a tree. If you look right underneath that, imagine you had a tree, except instead of a tree, it was just some snow and some decorations wrapped around a bunch of hands and feet.
Oh, from
It's just
from the
hands
tree
and feet
from the
stacked on top of each other, and that's Mater's tree. It's just hands and feet.
Now, I will say we have compared tires more to shoes before, which I honestly stand by. I think tires are more of a shoe, and we,
But
we
Lucas,
do see
what
the leaning.
of their hands?
No, John, I'm not sure that's super applicable here, but and we also have seen an example of them making a like decorative structure out of tires in that outside of Luigi and Guido's shop. They have, I don't know what they call it actually. It's the Leaning Tower of Pisa, but with tires. Leaning Tires of Pisa? Leaning Tower of. Okay, that's going to bother me. So I'm going to Google that while we keep talking.
So, if even if it's just shoes, still, man, you're just gonna make your tree a bunch of shoes, garbage shoes, even.
Yeah, like, at least the leaning tower, I still haven't figured it out. Whatever it's called has like some artistry to it, and that it's like kind of well made. But Mater's is just sort of tiled up in a general like cone structure. So it's like if you piled a bunch of shoes into like a pyramid and were like, here's my Christmas tree. It's got fake snow on it and some ornaments. And you're like, okay. I mean, it does have garland and lights and ornaments. It's just, why would you pile a bunch of shoes up for your Christmas tree?
So, so Lucas, I've been trying to figure it out, and I just can't. Why is Flo's just got records in it?
Well, she has like you're right, it does have just some vinyl records in it. She does have like a 50s style diner, which I don't know, that's pretty thematic for that. But it's not very Cars y.
It has nothing to do with cars.
Yeah, it's just sort of one of those silvery white trees with a bunch of vinyl in it. Huh.
Yep, it's just like if anything, I guess you could say that the ribbon around it might be a road. It's not, but you could pretend it is.
Yeah. I also, quick note, I have figured it out. It's just the leaning tower of tires, which again, you kind of phoned that one in, guys.
I prefer leaning tires of Pisa.
Yes, exactly.
It's
That's
much better.
whatever. I'm not going to die on this hill.
I will.
Okay, sure. You feel free. But this does sort of show us that, I don't know, Christmas tradition is transferable, at least in that they gather around a conical structure.
I mean, the cozy cone
They are cones.
is very conical.
And
Cozy conical.
I guess there are enough that are just straight up trees that the other ones can be like, we can assume that they gather around tree like Christmas trees. The other
Mm-hmm.
ones are just the residents trying to be like artsy and creative.
Yeah, they're definitely tree shaped.
Yeah, that like it's not just like in Cars they're just like, any shaped structure. I think it's just like, oh, we wanted to make a thematic tree like structure, but it's
Yeah.
still based on a tree.
So we've got Santa Car.
Yes.
We've got Snowmobile Reindeer. Now I've
Yes.
got a question for you that requires me to talk about my not very fun fact of the day, which I might go ahead and say is a very not fun fact of the day.
Okay.
Okay, so a long time ago, I got very confused by a Mr. Griffin McElroy when he was talking about how uh, the antlers of reindeer have leprosy. And
Oh.
after doing some digging, I have found that, in fact, that is not the case. It's a thing where they have something called velvet shedding, which do not look up, audience. Please do not. It's very gross. It's very gross. And what it is the antlers of reindeer uh, will shed. And if you don't know how to imagine antlers shedding, just imagine that like the outer layer of this bone-like protrusion, uh, it just kind of like melts and turns into a bloody, gross mess and sloughs off.
That sounds pretty gross, John.
Yep. So my question is, does that happen with the snowmobiles?
Huh.
Do things just slough off of them? Gross,
I
like red, nasty stuff?
I do remember them having antlers, bud. So I would assume, yeah, I would assume that happened to these snowmobiles with antlers.
Which brings me to a worse question. Is that what happened to Mater and Lightning's antlers?
Huh. Okay, that's challenging. Uh, it again. The only knowledge I have of most of this book is were those incredibly blurry. It wasn't even a video of the book. It was in fact several pictures of incredibly blurry pictures of the book set to a montage with music. But if it looked like they just got hats with antlers. So I'm going to say hopefully not, but gosh, maybe.
Alright, so I am doing the thing where I am investigating by trying to zoom into a picture and enhance, and for some reason,
Enhanced.
it's not working. I don't know how they do it on CSI, but it doesn't seem to be enhancing all that well. Uh, so
Uh,
so the antlers on Mater are definitely hat based, but for these snowmobiles, I don't know. Those look
no, yeah,
just like
I
antlers right attached to their heads. So even if we're fortunate and the hats come off and you don't have to wait till they just dissolve into a gross fleshy mess on your face, those antlers on those reindeer, they're gonna do it.
no, yeah, I totally think that probably happens to the snowmobile reindeer, which again is very challenging. I will say Lightning and Mater probably kept those hats as like souvenirs from this adventure. I can say that because none of you have read the children's book Mater Saves Christmas, and you can't dispute me. So I'm going to say they've kept the hats. So I'm going to say, like, a month later, they were like looking like, remember our adventure with Santa? Let's open this box. We've kept the hats with reindeer antlers on. They went, oh, God. Oh, no. Oh, it's a bunch of goo and our hats are sitting in it. Oh, no.
It's definitely molded and festered. Ugh.
What I am postulating is that the hats do have real living reindeer antlers on them, I
Yeah,
guess.
they're not like dead antlers. No, they're real. They're alive-ish and they're dissolving in your cabinets. Don't know why you keep your hat in your cabinet.
Yeah, it's a bad place for hats, but I think I can support that just because I don't know Christmas magic. They have to become more like reindeer. Clearly, that's why he gave them the magic flying hats. So I don't think he would just be like, "Yes, I enchanted these hats, and for theming, I put reindeer antlers on them, fake ones that won't turn to goop in a month." I think
They're magically enchanted hats that
yes, with real living antlers on them.
real living velvet shedding antlers.
Oh shoot! You know what we haven't mentioned about the Santa in the cars?
What's that?
Elves,
Yep, there are elves,
huh?
and they're in like the basic images that you find, and like one of the first, I think the first page has Mater slinging his towing cable around. Looks like a whip, and it kind of implies that he's like maybe gonna whip these elves that are just tiny cars.
Yeah, I would think. What did we say elves were in our fantasy episode?
I think motorcycles.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. But those would be like Tolkien elves.
Yeah.
These are Christmas elves, which are very different. More like uh, gnomes is what I would call Christmas elves. Would you
Hmm.
agree?
Yeah.
Which gnomes? I think we said. What did we say gnomes were? Forklifts?
I think so because tinkering.
Yes. The dwarves were the smoke jumper species, and
Hmm.
gnomes were forklifts. So I don't know. I could see a bunch of forklifts. It would certainly make our job of figuring out how did the car elves make all the car toys. Hey
I
John, what's a car toy? What do shoot? What do baby cars play with? John,
They play with those like small planes that you put on your antenna. They play with toy cars. They play with toy cars that are like versions of your favorite characters, such as Mike and Sully.
okay. Okay. So, toy cars would be like action figures, more like in this world.
Hmm.
They would also serve the same purpose as toy cars because, I don't know, why not? They're still fun to roll around and go with. But
But I will say, in this image, the elves, they're just small cars.
they are, in fact, just small cars.
Yep,
Huh. Okay.
they're just
I don't like that very
small,
much.
cute looking cars. Like maybe some strange models of cars. Like I'm looking at them thinking, oh, these look like those funny clown cars where 64 clowns get out of this tiny little car.
Yeah. Okay. Now, okay, clown cars would be an
See, there are cars that are clowns, and then there are clown cars. Clown
no,
car
yeah.
cars.
I don't know. I don't know why I'm so enamored with the idea of Christmas elves being clown cars. But man, that made me smile a lot, which usually they just sort of stress me out. So I'm going to say that the Christmas elves are clown cars.
Absolutely.
And
Ah,
some of them are forklifts because, gosh, they gotta make toys. Gosh, they really do.
I gotta say, I don't think we can say that they're forklifts just because we have a tendency to always say, well, it's forklifts.
Okay, you're right. So we need a different explanation.
In our defense, that's the only thing that makes sense.
And also, honestly, it's usually forklifts.
Yeah, it's usually forklifts.
So we do need another explanation for how the clown cars make Christmas toys for Christmas little boy and girl cars.
I think that they just open up their clown car door and 64 toys just pop out.
Or a bunch of forklifts come out.
The elves just are the summoners of this world. They summon forklifts to do their bidding.
Yeah, that's why there are so many forklifts, because the elves are very irresponsible and they just summon too many of them and they don't reuse them. They say, go on, integrate with the world. And they're like, okay, I guess.
That would go against the theory I was about to propose, which is perhaps they don't feel it's moral to summon regular forklifts because they're sentient. So what they are is not only summoners but necromancers. The elves are necromantic summoners of the undead to do their bidding to craft toys.
I'm gonna change that to get a bit more Christmas cheer in it. So they summon like automatons.
Lucas, what did we say near the beginning?
I don't remember, obviously.
Christmas time for cars is a time for death.
Well, the forklifts aren't going that fast.
Yeah, but they're getting hit by the other cars that can't control because all the ice.
This may be one we just have to agree to disagree on, because like also I was mostly joking when I said that that Christmas elves were clown cars that opened their doors and a bunch of forklifts came out. I don't think that's a very sound theory on our part, bud.
I'd like to think that we're going to have to utilize the clown car aspect, and what happens is they open up their door, and either a bunch of things come out, like toys, or like balloon animals start like forming from them somehow,
Okay.
and then the balloon animals will like be shaped into the shape of the toy, and it'll pop, and the toy will be there.
Man, that's pretty thematic, man. Uh, and all of the balloons are red and green because, I don't know, they're Christmas clown cars because obvious reasons.
Yes.
Also, Mrs. Car looks like Santa, but like uh, a lady car. You know how you can tell when they're intended to be lady cars? Somehow, well, I know how, but she's a lady car who looks vaguely like Santa.
So, first off, I didn't know there was a Mrs. Carr, but I'm glad that there is. But also, her name is Mrs. Carr.
Yeah, I mean, I was not basing that off of a picture. That was me just saying, oh, we've got to include Mrs. Claus in this somehow. I don't know. She's a car.
Okay, okay, because if his name is Santa Carr and we call Mrs. Claus, I mean, she's just Mrs. Carr.
No, she's super just Mrs. Carr, which,
Yep,
like, again, just maybe next time you're in the room and someone pitches exactly one idea for the name of a beloved character,
maybe just
horrified,
maybe just give that one more again.
even maybe just hear what the next person suggests.
Yep,
He
just
didn't have to be Santa Car.
just one more idea would probably be better. I don't think it'd get much worse.
Admittedly, I will say, I don't know about John. I've been trying to think of a better name for Santa Car this whole time, and the best I've gotten was our very early Santa Cars. So, like, I get it. It's not the easiest thing in the world, but I don't know. Santa Car's pretty bad.
I'm gonna do it.
Sure, I believe in you.
I'm gonna do
Okay, I'm believing in you a little less. Now, I think what would help is if we got away from Santa Claus.
it. Yeah, I'm trying to go with Saint Nick right now. I got nothing.
Is there anything in Father Christmas without changing Christmas? So, Father, I guess.
farther.
Because cars can go far?
Yep.
Was that the joke?
That was
Oh, man.
Kris Kringle.
Man, you really...
Car Kringle.
Okay.
That's it. That's better.
Say it one more time.
Car Kringle? Cars Kringle.
I mean...
Cars Kringle.
Kringle is better.
I mean, my first instinct, for the entire episode, as soon as I heard that it was Santa Car, I was just very bothered by the fact that it wasn't at least Santa Cars.
Yeah.
So, like, Cars Kringle works. Santa Cars works. Just end it in an S. Please.
Yeah, you know what? Whatever. Send us better names for Santa Claus in the Cars universe than Santa Car. And it'd be even better than Cars Kringle and Santa Cars, because while they're better, again, they're not that much better. So I'm sure you, the listener, can do better than us. Please send us those, I guess. I don't know. It feels like we're pretty done talking about this. Do you agree? Or do you have more you want to talk about vis-a-vis holidays and the Cars verse?
I think we've covered some of it, and we gotta save some for next year, so...
Ambitious!
when we're on episode, what is it?
It'll be
80...
like 82.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
82 hours of Cars. Oh boy.
Okay, anyway, thank you for listening to our holiday special, which we haven't named yet. I don't know. So you know what it's called. But yeah, genuinely, thank you for listening. And again, thanks to Christina for sending us what we used for a lot of the episode. As you maybe could tell, we had a hard time brainstorming for this one. So.
We really did. Boy, we shouldn't have struggled so much, but I was blanking.
Yeah, I don't know, man. There's definitely more we could have talked about, but whatever. If you have something you want to send us, you can send it to us at our email, which is thechat@gmail.com, or you could tweet it at us on Twitter at thechat. I don't know. You usually say something at this part. Rate us and stuff.
Like, comment, subscribe, do whatever you can. Please just spread the word. Tell your friends. Tell anyone you think might be able to enjoy two dudes overanalyzing a children's movie for 32 hours.
Yes. Specifically, we just got on a website called Podchaser, which is like IMDb for podcasts. So, I don't know, if you want to go there and leave us a rating or follow us on there, it'd be super cool. It's a very new website, so all the podcasts are on sort of equal ground. So if we got like, I don't know, just like five reviews on it, we would be in like the top 10% of like one of the most reviewed podcasts on there. And that'd be pretty cool. You don't have to, obviously. You don't have to do anything. But I don't know, it'd be cool if you did.
Remember, folks, the Toyota-thon is on. Happy Honda Days.
Of course.
Merry Carsmas.
And
have yourself...
Hyundai holidays are here.
Have yourself a mater little Christmas.
Yes, and sting like a beamer, I guess.